Hey Taurus, it's Jen with Lady Tarot 911. How's everybody doing? I am here to do your monthly read for October. So it is the end of September and we are getting ready to have some planets go direct in October. And also Venus is doing her thing, which is the planet of romance and love, different than emotion. And then also the 1010 portal, which will be huge. So big month of pressure building and also a boiling point of things just snapping and change. And then November is going to be that of action, and December is going to be that of just new beginnings. So we're already into the new cycle. We wrapped up, as we were talking about, at the end of August and September. So we're just cruising right along with all of this astrology, and you guys are probably feeling all over the place, just like I have been. But it is okay. We will survive. So let's get into your read. Find out how my bulls are doing. Okay, so universe, what can you show me for Taurus for the month of October? What is the message you would like me to give to Taurus for October 2022? So I was doing some channeling before starting the video, and as I was meditating, and some keywords that I got for you. I'm sorry, you know what? I'm going to pull actually the camera down a little bit so you can see. There we go. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that with the reflection, but that's okay. We'll go over it. So the keywords that I was picking up, that I was channeling, and I'm going to try and start doing this that way. Those of you who like encounter something having to do with these words, or whether they're just a tie-in to the reading, you can connect with, you'll know. I mean, I'm the believer that if you were led here to watch this video, then obviously that's part of your journey. That's part of your plan, is to, hook up on certain titles and, what draws you into certain reads for a reason. And that being that it was meant for you. However, I also like to channel specifics so that you can connect a little closer to whether this is your, for you or not. You'll know, but I'd like to start kind of including that in my reads. So the words that I had channeled, and they're just random words, but I channeled fruit, knife, boat, and cherry lipstick or chapstick or something for the lips. Cherry lips, cherry. It kept bouncing back and forth. So something about that. So boat, knife, fruit, and cherry, lips, chapstick, lipstick, something like that. Just something for your lips. So, all right. So the card that flew out that was turned over was Justice. So this, I feel, has a lot to do with what your month of October is going to be primarily about. I'm going to get the bottom card in just a second, but I have one more to get for, one more to get for the three cards. Okay, thank you. All right, so that's going to go there. Okay, I'm just going to put that one to the side. We'll touch on the Justice card in just a minute, but I'm going to go ahead and pull these down here. Actually, I can probably, if that's any better. Okay, so, sorry, it's moving. All right, so we have King of Swords and Seven of Wands and 10 of Wands. So I am going to have to push these up now because I'm going to clarify down below, but you can see that I turned those over. Okay, so what I'm getting, there's going to be a lot of conversation. There's going to be there's a lot of blue in these cards, and even blue in his robe. There's going to be things brought to the table and truths that are brought out. Now remember, we're moving a lot from the the September energy into October, which I mentioned in my videos. And so I'm not surprised, with a lot of these messages being in alignment with that. You will be getting truths. You will be getting conversation. You will be getting messages, and you will be getting action in regards to clarity in the month of October. These truths might be something that's more difficult for you. Obviously, things that are hidden or kept are not something that either yourself or somebody else can, process as quickly or deal with or cope with, or it's an avoidance potentially. And it appears that there are going to be these truths, but with these spoken truths, there's going to be a sense of justice that's brought about. And the idea that there was some deception or deceit or even telling ourselves lies, that's going to come to the forefront. That's going to come to the surface. That's going to be something that needs to be handled, because we all know that keeping repressed feelings, thoughts, actions, things that others have done, keeping that from ourselves and others, all that does is that just represses that energy and causes things to fester. I talked a lot about this in the Aries read. About one of their keywords was Band-Aids, and just slapping on a Band-Aid to a wound when there's already infection that is present is obviously, it'll fester into a bigger infection. And me being a nurse, I know I've seen septic patients, and that's essentially what repressed emotions and feelings and things that are hidden or avoided. That's what happens to us, is we cause a greater deal of distress on our emotions and on our soul when those things are not dealt with in a proper manner and healed from, and then moved on from. That's the purpose of them, is to help us grow stronger and more in alignment with our higher self, and somebody that we want to become, that we're striving to become better, and less burdened by things that can be healed. And I know that there's a lot of examples out there of what everybody, it might be going through, or things, hard truths. I've been through them myself, and but nothing's impossible. All things can be dealt with and healed through putting a great effort into doing so, and getting the resources and tools and help that maybe we need, not only within ourselves, but also without, in ourselves, but also on the outside, on the outskirts of the situation, whether that be perceptions or opinions, or just another set of eyes on something, options or opportunities that maybe we, never thought about before. So, and this is burdensome. These, the deceit, the lies, or just not being honest with ourselves will cause, a lot of burden, and it's heavy energy. it's really heavy energy. So these two came out. So it's in regards to a relationship with a commitment, long-term commitment. This could also be, this is values, and it could be religion or spirituality, or your value system, your commitments and promises, things that are grounded in truths. And this has caused quite a bit of mental conflict. Again, going along with the lying to ourselves, the burdens, the being defensive, they all go hand in hand. And I wanted to show you this. So these, I said to Aries on their read that the 5s and the 7s are haunting all of our reads lately. And I don't like the 5s and 7s. I really, I always have such a problem with them because they are darker, harder energy, but they are the ones that we learn the most from. So, I mean, all cards have that, those opposite, benefits, opposition. So these are, the 7s, and the 10, the 10s are an ending. So this possibly can be a wrapping up of the burdens of what's been happening. But as I get through it, as I clarify more, we'll understand. So 10s are meaning that there's hope to move on. So that's good. But 7s and 5s are just really tough cards, really tough energy to be dealing with. And it's something that in the month of October, there will be these truths coming about, but there will be justice, and there will be a sense of lightening the load, and, handling things, or things being handled for you, that brings a sense of what has been needed, and truth and justice, and balance and fairness overall. So I just wanted to give you an idea of what, this is heavy energy that you've been facing, or somebody's been facing, causing you this pain and suffering. And but thankfully, there's mercy, and there will be this sense of things will be made right. And it's in regards to spirituality or religion, or right and wrong, long-term commitment, promises, commitment to something, even commitment to ourselves in a way. Maybe there's been some habits or thought processes that has caused you to make promises to yourself, and then end up, we've all done it, and then we end up going back on those promises to ourselves, and it's burdensome, because it's taken a lot of effort to even get to that point where we can, make those commitments to ourselves, let alone anybody else. So, okay, so what do we have bookending the Hierophant in regards to the 10 of Wands? What do we have for Taurus? What do we have? Okay, so there is going to be an opportunity to move forward. There is opportunities in all things to either remain where we are, or to move forward in a positive direction. Hang on one second. I want to clarify. What is the King of Swords? Okay, so these are truths regarding, so there's two kings, right? The King of Swords is about, you bring me the truth. And the King of Pentacles is, I have the truth. I am sitting where I am sturdy, I'm stable, I'm grounded. Both of these are wise kings in a different manner. And so truths could have come up already, being that the King of Swords is in the past position. And it can be a sense of, okay, truths that maybe you're not as stable as you want to be. You're not where you want to be in life. Somebody has wronged you, or you have not kept promises to yourself of finding that stability, keeping that stability, committing to being stable, and patterns and habits have come about where you haven't been able to, gain that stability. This could also be, you could also be one who is dealing with work issues or career that just has not taken off as you expected, or there's been issues and barriers along the way that have really kept you from feeling that sense of stability, either within your job or your home. But that's going to be made right in the month of October. So why is the King of Pentacles here? Five of Pentacles, feeling left out in the cold, whether that be a relationship that's ended or a career that has, this could be anything from you not receiving the bonus that you expected, you not getting the position that you expected, and what those reasons are for that. What were the reasons, the truths on why these things have played out. And maybe the truth has been that, you've left yourself out in the cold. You put yourself out in the cold in ways that you've thought about things, or the way that you've handled or coped with certain things in your life. And these truths are burdensome, but they're not overcomable, if that's even a word. I don't know, but it sounds good here, so I'm going to use it. And these whole ideals that maybe, or ideologies that maybe need refinement and adjustment and an opportunity to do so in the month of October, that's going to be there for you. So whether that's just getting real with yourself, whether that's somebody else getting real with you, or you understanding things in, a better way, or, apologies that are needed, that come about. I was trying to think. Okay, so the words that I channeled, knife. Okay, that's the one that I was looking for, because so if you see here, we've got, so the King of Swords, obviously the Seven of Swords, and the Five of Swords. This is about, and that's probably why I had channeled knife. This is going to be a lot about what you do with that knife, those swords that you have or have had in your life that cause you to overthink, that cause you mental anguish or emotional stress, and cutting those things out in the month of October, or things that you're finding out are being cut out that reflect in a truth and a fairness with this Justice card. It could be anything from you maybe going a different direction in your career, and the truths about the fact that you've needed to do that. It could be anything from cutting out a relationship, severing ties with toxic behaviors. The devil is about strings attached, and maybe there's just some overall severing that needs to be done. And the opportunity is going to be there to lessen these burdens and create a huge sense of happiness and relief. Oh, look at who that is. I was just sitting here just tapping the cards, and I happened to see him. Oh, he decided to show up. I did not know he was under there. So, okay, let's address it then. There's another king right there. Okay, let's take him too. You know what? Let's just take... Oh my gosh. Okay, we're going to do some storytelling here. Okay, I don't usually do this. Oh boy. I mean, not like this. I don't take this many cards, but we're going to tell it like it is. So, he appeared. He wanted to make his entrance into this read. Thank you, Mr. Devil, sir. Actually, this is just dark, dense energy, darker energy that keeps us attached to things that are unhealthy. He is an unhealthy beast, right? So we have these toxic behaviors that we are trying to take actions on. You are finding it within you that either actions have been taken or you've been wise about the actions that you have taken, because the King of Wands, he does things in a methodical way, but that is very action driven. He doesn't just sit there. He gets up and he does take care of this. So more swords, right? So we're talking about feeling like our hands are tied, but understanding that through these truths that are being brought about, that we're able to cut ourselves free from this mental prison that the devil wants us kept in, right? And our minds want us kept in. This is about a relationship with something in your life that has needed to be decided upon, that has needed a choice made. And the Lovers is very much about personal love, romantic relationships, and that's very well what it could be. Along with money, or just an overall sense of happiness and family and career and finance and just relationships, either within yourself or within others. But you've done a lot of soul searching, as the Hermit does, in finding those truths and bringing those about, or somebody else has, to affect your life. And in doing so, that causes you to boss up and become an emperor in your own life, or be able to take charge of the situation and move that to calmer waters. These things might still be within the environment, as far as the story that comes to mind. And the reason I say this is because the swords are in front of her, right? He's moving her to calmer waters, but the swords are in front of her. So there's still a ghost type of, lingering, I guess you could say, things that maybe just still need to be looked at, that aren't as clear as they could be. But they also are kind of around her, protecting her. So this could be her own thoughts that are lingering, and feelings if somebody has wronged you, where you're having to kind of let that guard down. But this story reminds me, and that's that Nine of Swords, that fear and anxiety that you're able to move on from, which can very well be your justice, is being able to unlock that mental prison that you've been in. So that little story was not planned, but what I picked up while telling that is, so they, there's an effect. Being a nurse, I have worked with, actually, one of my surgeries as just a nursing student that I was in on. There was a brain surgery, which I found really intriguing, but the one that I just found very, very just not brutal, but it could be so life altering, obviously, for somebody, or any type of amputations. But there's a ghost effect that happens at times with the feeling for patients that, and if this has, happened with anybody or with you, my deepest sympathies to, what that must be like, and what somebody goes through. But to have a part of you that's missing it still feels like at times patients can experience pain from that part that is no longer there, just because of this ghost effect, that it still feels like to them that it's there. And I want to be careful, because those things can be sensitive for people. Being a nurse, I understand. And that, obviously, that story needed to be told for some reason. But with those swords and around her, it almost felt like that ghost effect, that she was still feeling the reeling of, or the lingering, I guess, of that part of her that maybe has been, altered in her life. Okay, moving on, because we've looked at the past, we've looked at, what's come up, and the fact that, there will be justice for these things, which is very positive. Obviously, we want positive forward movement. So Seven of Wands is about really, and this can go along with just kind of a feed into that, moving into more of October. There could be a sense of just your guards being up. Maybe you're used to having your defenses up, which we all do when we're trying to protect ourselves from being hurt and, wounded. But Seven of Wands can be either having your guards up against something still, defending yourself, holding your ground, keeping your stance on, what you believe. Oh, funny. So fives, I told you, fives are just like my nemesis right now. Five of Wands is the crossing the Seven of Wands. So it's like that. Which explains there's been competition, which could be, and I call them third distractions, in relationships. I mean, we could have third, fourth, fifth distractions. There could be a million distractions in a relationship that cause us to not focus on somebody, or somebody not focusing, on you. There can be, this could be a relationship where there was competition on one side or the other, or the thought that there was. There can be a competition within ourselves if we're trying to climb, the ladder of success in corporate America. There could be competition within ourselves of being better, doing better, and maybe we've let ourselves down. There also could be competition in your work that has caused you to feel a sense of lack. That is, a lot of the fives. This is, there's just a lot of fives and sevens in this Taurus read. But the good thing is, what I feel is that there is just this dragging that has been going on in your life, this drag of the devil, of these toxic behaviors of somebody else or of yourself, of just this tied down to something that needs to be released. And it can be a mindset, it can be other people, just something that needs relief, that wound that needs the antibiotics, right? The ghost effect that needs to be healed completely, that's not. So why is the Five of Wands here? Oh, okay, so both cards wanted to come out, so I'm going to take them. This is Knight of Wands and Four of Swords. So that's what's going to be happening, is there's going to be some quick action taken. There's going to be an abrupt forward movement taken after this healing is done, or at a point where you feel that you're healed, and okay, ready to take that next action. So I'm sitting here looking at this, and the way that the cards landed, I thought he was the other direction, but I stand corrected. He's actually the other direction when I turn it around, which is actually taking action more towards the past. So this changes the read a little bit, and potentially there has been some injustices in the past that needs to be handled. You need healing from things in the past that have taken place so that you can have this justice, so that you can be healed, so that you can find your peace. And in the month of October is about change, and it is about transformation. And so for you, Taurus, I am feeling, looking at the way that Knight of Wands is facing, that there has to be some action and transformation, or some change from past lost opportunities, past decisions, past people that have come around. I mean, we're still in Mercury retrograde, so that, I mean, it's very possible that people are coming back from the past in your life, and that is something that brings up pain, and it's burdensome, and we're in a time now where, coming to the end of the year, we can't avoid those things. We're already in a new cycle, and this new cycle is already starting out with change, and we're being forced by the universe and by destiny and fate and our higher selves and our spirit guides and the universe overall, that we have to make these changes. They have festered to a point where they can no longer, you're going to become septic. And when something festers, obviously we have to lacerate it to remove any infection that has just sat, because it's something that we didn't want to look at. So I do believe that in the month of October, the change and the transformation is going to come from the need to find justice and fairness and truth, or somebody else will be coming back in your life that will give that sense of justice to you through them coming back and healing maybe what they've done or what they've said, or events that have taken place that were unrighteous, or however you want to take that, unfair, or maybe not to the best of what's not best for you or them or the collective of, because that's what the universe wants, is this balancing of energy. And when somebody does you wrong, or you do somebody wrong, that creates an imbalance, that there has to be that debt paid. At some point, that debt has to be balanced out. But you're getting that justice, and that's what's so great. There might be some bumps in the road, some pains, or, having an infection, or somebody creating that infection within you is uncomfortable. And there might be those moments that are uncomfortable, of having to sever ties, or just truths that come up. But in the end of that, creates that flow of I wanted to say blood, only because I was looking at the justice card, but that's essentially what it is. As you can see at the top of the card, the yellow, and the yellow resembles happiness, and it's starting to waterfall down. It looks like down that flow of red, which when we're talking about wounds, I mean, that's what you want to have, is a clear bloodstream, and something that is, this kind of turned out to be kind of a gross little read. I'm sorry. I guess that's what you get when you have a reader who's in the medical field. But the happiness comes from that free-flowing, infection-free bloodstream, and feeling better, and being able to progress and think clearer. And we all have been in pain. And when you're in pain, all you want to do is get out of pain. You don't care how it happens. You don't care if you had some I don't know, aversion to medication. When you're in pain, medications are your best friend, right? Like, you beg for them. That's all you care about. You can't think clear. You can't think, okay, well, this is how I feel about Norco, or some pain medication. I really don't like that. When you're in severe pain, you just want to be out of pain. And that is, this read has just been so random. But that is what is happening, is, the justice comes from clearing that out, cleaning that up, addressing those issues, coping with things correctly, severing ties of strings that are attached, stopping toxic behavior, making commitments and promises to yourself and to people around you that you keep, and removing these 5s and 7s from your life, these conflicts and burdens and competition, and these things that are just of negative vibration, of lower vibration, that pull you down. And the thing is with the devil, negative energy feeds negative energy. So it's not like it'll eventually go away. It actually just gets worse, and it gets worse, and the lies get more, and that's, and you could be experiencing that with somebody, or the injustices become greater, or the conflict becomes bigger in our minds, and it just feeds and feeds and feeds on itself, and starts to expand, and starts affecting other parts of our bodies, which in relation affects, in regards to the read, it affects more parts of our life and our families, right? So okay, I want to get an advice card for, actually, I'm going to get one here, and then I'm going to get one from one of my favorite decks. Let me just shuffle these out again real quick. So, universe, what advice or actions do you have for Taurus for the month of October in relation to their read of how to go about, how to move forward with these truths and the justice that's being brought, or they're bringing to somebody in the month of October? What is their advice? What advice do you have? These are, they're upside down. So at the bottom is, oh my gosh, is 6 of Wands. So that's about success and victory. And I very much know that this will happen for you through what we've already talked about in the read, but also your advice is make decisions. Make this decision for your success and victory. Decide, take that blindfold off, look at what's really happening around you, what's really going on here, the fact that you do have a wound or wounds, and that the infection is festering, and and get to the bottom of those things, bring those things to the table, have open, clear communication, you know, an open, clear, free-flowing bloodstream. You know, I look at this card. Look at this card. Oh, and you know what? I'll pull the next card too. This will bring you your hoping and wishing for something that is greater than you, using your intuition, using the 5D and your higher self, and making these decisions to clear this up, clean this up, face this, use the medications, you know, the antibiotics that you need to be able to heal. And you know, no matter what that is that you are facing in your life, there can be a million scenarios and only you know, but there's something in your life or vicinity or environment or in your relationships or your family or within yourself that needs to be addressed. And through this, you will have success and victory, and you will be able to achieve, you know, these greatest dreams and desires and hope fulfilled moments that you wish for. And in doing so, I mean, doing that requires that there's going to need to be conversations that might be hard, that, you know, might not want to be brought to the table, but that is needed to be brought to the table. So I don't know how cherry lipstick or cherry chapstick and what were the other fruit? I don't know where those fit, but somebody's going to connect something through something regarding those those words that I channeled. And then there was another one, and I can't even remember. I can't even remember the reads after I read most of the time. Anyways, just rewind back. You'll hear it in the beginning of the video. Oh, fruit, knife, cherry chapstick. You know what's going to happen is I'm going to finish this video and I'm just going to be laying in bed, and all of a sudden, like, I'm going to connect why that came about in this read, and then it's going to be too late. But you know what? It just means that I'm not supposed to connect everything that I channel, that is given to you, so that there can be a moment where if you do connect, you can think back to this, you know, and hopefully something in this might help you, might trigger something, you know, in your mind, not trigger, like cause you to have a complete meltdown. I'm just talking about like connecting and being like, oh, you know what, that was mentioned. You know, maybe that's something I need to look at, or this is what she was talking about. And it just connects you with this read. So anyways, oh, boat. That was the other one. It was boat. And guess what? As I'm sitting here in the story, boat. Through doing all of this, you're going to be taken to calmer waters. Boat. That's how, if I were to connect it in the read, I mean, obviously it could be, you could be on a boat and figure these things out. You could, you know, go on a boating trip and have a huge conversation. Who knows? But that's how I would connect it to the read. I still don't understand the cherry lipstick, except for this guy, which he's got, look at his lips. But he wasn't even a part of our read, so I don't know. It'll come to you or not. So, all right. Moving on. Universe, what do you have for advice for Taurus for the month of October? What do you have for advice for the month of October? I love this deck. This is the Angels and Ancestors. I love this deck for advice. I always draw from this one because the messages are just so beautiful. It takes me, you know, to a place of like just our ancestry and those who have come before us, and the wisdom and all that. So heart guardian, love and let yourself be loved. Look at the color, red. Yeah. So this very much can be within you, or forgiveness for these injustices that will set you free. I'm going to read this. Okay, so Heart Guardian. Just don't have numbers, so give me a second. Okay. So welcome with open arms opportunities to give and receive love. The Heart Guardian is an angelic energy that can help you call for protection and guidance with all issues surrounding the heart. This is essentially the angel who helps you with all relationships, whether they be yourself, family, or even romantic connections. Sorry, my chair is hitting the table. She can enable you to move beyond any limiting fears about trust, discern whom to trust, and understand how you can move forward in a balanced relationship with that person. In this card, she is adorned with a sacred heart and draped in red cloak to show her capacity to love, lead the way. You are loved. You are loved, lovable, and loving. The energy of love is surrounding your whole world at this time. Angels are swirling around you, encouraging you to open your heart and reveal the blessings that you have to offer. They want you to know that you are a highly loving being who deserves to give and receive love. If you are finding it challenging to feel love at this time, it's important for you to give yourself credit where it's due. You are encouraged to welcome support from others, learn to receive. Don't try and do everything on your own. If you are working on a relationship or in a new relationship, this card can usher in energies that allow you to forge a powerful connection with your partner. Love is in the air. So this can very well be about, and that was a beautiful message, this can very well be about justice being brought about in a relationship in your life. So have a great October, Taurus. I hope this helps you, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.